Let's paint a walk along St Augustine Beach. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to capture movement in the waves, soft skies, and those distant figures with just a few simple strokes. It's easier than you think and perfect for beginners. Today, I'm using this amazing travel brush set from our friends at Fuumuui. If you like to paint when you travel, I'll link this set in the description so you can check it out along with our discount code. Some clear water with your number 10 travel brush in the sky here and there. I'll be creating some light clouds and a lot of blue background. Bring that clear water down to the pencil line of the building on the right, but you can go over the structure of the pier. And then the weak version of the Winsor Blue to start with, coming in from the right hand side. And if necessary, add some water to it, just a little, but blend it in as much as possible. Okay, so continue with that. Shape up the clouds as you wish them to be. There's no defined pattern here. It's not a complicated sky. It's meant to be easy. And don't worry if you get little flecks like that occur. You can easily dispense with them by having some clear water on your brush and going over them. So that's building up. Soon we'll be able to strengthen in certain areas and do some of the dark clouds. So some of the stronger mixture, if necessary, dip into your Winsor Blue as well, as I did with that brush. I did so because that brush wasn't dirty with other colors. It didn't cause a problem. Normally, as you know, I use a mixing brush each time, but that was an exception because it wasn't going to cause an issue. Then we've got some of that darker cloud color coming in, and these would be normally at the bottom section of clouds where it's darker down below. And we will also be dropping in some thin, distant, darker clouds. And when we do that, we'll use the flat brush, number 6 from the travel set. And now we'll be doing these distant clouds, very thin because they're distant, and using that flat brush with that mixture of Winsor Blue and Paynes Grey. Now, it might appear to you on the video that I'm going backwards forward, but in fact, I'm only touching the paper in one direction. Then I lift, go back, and touch again in one direction. So on the video, it appears that I'm always touching the paper when I'm not. So that's important to know. Otherwise, you'll end up with a muddy mess, and the thickness of what you're painting will expand and increase, and it won't give you much definition. Then we've got a little bit of yellow ochre going on here. If you study photographs, there is a little bit of color in the sand in this location, and I do find that yellow ochre works well. So lay down some water first over the whole of the sand area. Don't worry about going over the figures because that area will be light. And then working from the bottom, work your way up. And all I'm going to void on the left-hand side is where I will have some white cresting waves as they reach the shoreline. So I just go up to that band of waves, the one closest to the shoreline. Okay, so now you can come in with some stronger version of the yellow ochre, and also a little bit in the foreground at the bottom. Good idea to mop up with some clean tissue. But we're going to continue with the flat brush for the ocean. And we're laying down some blue ocean in between where we're going to have some crashing waves. And you will see how we shape those up even more later. So you've got here your two versions of your Winsor Blue, the weaker one, the stronger one, and we'll just build that up with more definition as we go along. Using the flat brush, I think it's shaping up quite well. Do remember to have some jagged lines as well. Okay, and with this angle, with the sand on the right will be strengthened later, and then the angles of the waves crashing onto the shoreline, it does also help lead you into the painting. So now I can strengthen up some of that value on the ocean. So tone being color and value being the strength between lighter and darker, etc. And then you can see that makes those crashing waves really pop now because they're juxtaposed against the darker blue. Thus, using the white of the paper for the English style of transparent watercolor rather than using body color and acrylic, etc., gives a much more convincing final result. There are a few exceptions where you might use body color. So, for instance, if I did a painting, nature painting with egrets flying across and the background was green and they were tiny, I'd have to resort to some body color then. But for me, they really are exceptions. Okay, so at the underside of those crashing waves, it will be darker. And we'll be adding a few darker strands across the tops of the crashing waves using that flat brush again, but not along the whole length. Leave plenty of white and have gaps here and there. Make it look convincing. And then before we progress to the pier, we would really have to dry that area off of the ocean, otherwise we'll smudge. Now mixing up a nice dark color for the pier, it is looks to me like a wooden structure rather than concrete, but others will know. And so I've got a combination of colors being mixed up here: Winsor Blue, Paynes Grey. I'll add some red. There's some Scarlet Lake coming in, and so on and so forth, until I get a dark browny sort of color. As you will know, those who follow me quite closely from my tutorials, you'll see that I don't like using lamp black or anything like that. I think it jumps off the page. So you've now got your smallest brush in the travel set, the detail number 2 brush, and you're laying down the post for the pier, and then we'll paint in the top. And with this brush, it's nice and thin, and as you can see, we can quickly paint in that pier most accurately. And we'll use the same brush for the buildings on the right-hand side. And I've chosen this composition because I think it frames the painting quite nicely. You're led into the subject matter, and you have enough interest going on. It's not just the pier and the beach. We've got this area of property on the right hand side for added interest, and that also acts as a prop Our eye, therefore, does not leave the painting on the right-hand side. It's pushed back in because of the properties there. And as I say, they add that extra interest anyway. So dark roof, and then the sides are lighter. Use a grey mixture for the sides. And soon we'll be able to add a little bit of colour here and there. You'll see that'll come on. Long way through, 11 minutes through out of an 18 minutes tutorial. Now for the palm trees, we got that brown mixture. And then mix up a green, your Winsor Blue, Winsor Yellow will do. If you use the Indian yellow, it'll be much deeper green. But because they're quite distant, we want them light. Then we got some red umbrellas and so forth in distance there with the beachgoers. And a little bit of fencing and wall. I've just made it solid rather than trying to do a sophisticated demarcation there, wall or fence, whatever. That tells a story. And just a few little indications of some sort of activity going on where those palm trees are and the red umbrellas. Nothing detailed, it's so far away. Then along the edge of the beach there, where the waves have crashed in, you got a little bit of seaweed washed up. Extra little bit of interest and colour, and also helping lead the eye into the painting because of the angle and the vanishing points. Now 4 footsteps in the sand, indicate some of those, and wait for it. When we come to the dog, we have a bit of fun because the dog walks all over the place. How often do you see a dog walk in a straight line when they're on a beach or somewhere like that? Go over here, go there, come back, etc. So, a bit of fun there. Then here and there, little bit more definition, kicked up sand, where water has come up earlier and receded and created indentations on the beach, etc., etc. Maybe a few, not many on this occasion, at this location, pebbles and so forth, but there will be some. Because it's quite fine sand here. But that section enables us to have a little bit of deeper colour, which helps, rather than it being quite bland. And once again, I haven't had to worry about the heads of the figures when bringing across that sand colour, because I'll dry that off before I paint in the heads and the rest of the body. Okay, it's coming together quite nicely. And you'll see when we add the colours of the figures, it starts to pop more. Bit of colour in those umbrellas adjoining the building. You choose what you would like. And then I got a brown mixture for some of the heads and a black mixture for some of the heads and the hair. Close to black, my mixture of black. Same for the dog, and you'll only see 3 legs, the head, the tail, and 3 legs, not 4. If it was 4, it'd be standing to one side and static. We want movement going on. And then you choose which colour clothing you'd like to make them. Often in mine, you see that ladies wearing either red dress, red top, etc., and the man either blue or brown or something like that. But make sure the legs are quite thin and one clearly in front of the other. So one a little bit shorter and forward, the other one longer and at the back behind. Now I'm just straightening up ocean where the waves are crashed in, and then underside of those crashing waves to emphasize that contrast even more, and using the scraping technique a little bit as well. So there is variation going on. You, of course, might wish not to do that. You may just want one wash of color without any variation in the texture of the paper. I mention these techniques so that you can employ them and use them as you wish and make the painting one of your own. For a little bit of extra life movement on this occasion, I'm adding carefully a few birds and sky using that very small detail brush. And don't forget a couple of shadows for the walkers on the beach. I nearly did forget that, but I remembered just in time. And they're a little bit elongated because of where the sun's coming home. St Augustine Beach from our recent trip to St Augustine, where we painted. And I hope you have a go at this one. I think you'll learn a great deal from it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.